And her name is Dawn. On the 23rd of March 2010 she was born. She's got half a heart, yes you heard that right. You're looking at Supergirl fighting with all her might. So stick around and you will hear the amazing story about my girl right here.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Archie Adventures. If you're new here, my name is Jade-Marie and I'm mother to almost 9-year-old Dawn-louise who has hypoplastic left heart syndrome. If you didn't know already, February is Heart Month and we've been making a series of videos about her condition and her life with it. In today's video, I want to focus on activities. Due to Dawn-louise being on anticoagulant medication, which is a type of blood thinner, she can't do any contact sports. So that's no football, no cricket, no taekwondo or jiu-jitsu, nothing that could end up with her getting hit by something. Now, this isn't really a big deal, especially since she's a girl, and she's a very girly girl. She's not really into any of that, much to my dismay, because I used to do taekwondo when I was a kid and really wanted her to try it. But no, she can't do anything like that, unfortunately, because it would end up with her getting hurt. Any kind of bruising can cause blood clots, which can then break off and go to the heart or to the head, causing strokes and heart attacks. So it's very important that she does not take part in those, which means that during PE, sometimes she has to miss out. And sometimes she has to, you know, just sit down and watch, unfortunately, which isn't the most fun, but there are still loads of things that she can do. One of the things that we were really worried that she would not be able to do is swimming, because it takes up so much energy and you also have to hold your breath. Now, Dawn-louise doesn't have a lot of energy, but thankfully her cardiologist cleared her for swimming lessons when she was 6.5 years old, and she's been doing weekly 30-minute lessons ever since, and she is now nearly 9. So she's been doing it a couple of years now. She's got, I think, 8 badges. She's doing incredibly well. One of the things that we do have to worry about though is her doing competitive breath holding. So she isn't allowed to try and like hold her breath longer than somebody else. At the moment, she's doing really well in swimming. She does wear a wetsuit because she struggles with keeping her body warm. But that's made the world of difference. It's only a shorty wetsuit, one that goes down to the knees and down to her elbows, but it really helps to keep her body warm. She does still go a little bit blue in the pool, but nothing of major concern. And when the temperature is very cold outside, we miss a couple of lessons just to keep her safe. But she really loves swimming and she's doing amazing at it as well. Throughout her life, she's tried many different things, and that's because I really want her to find things that she's passionate about and also know that she can still do a lot, even though there are a few things that she cannot do. Also, I want to have her experience as much of life as possible. I think that that's really important. So I'm just going to list off all the things that she's done and talk a little bit about them and when she started. So ballet and tap are the things that she's been doing the longest. She started when she was 5 years old. You learned today?
Yes. We doing like this.
Wow. Can you do that again?
Yes. Put the legs together and we do.
Wow, well done. And what else did you learn?
And we do.
Was that in tap class?
Yeah.
Yeah? Can you do that again? Wow, and did they make really loud noises?
Yeah, they make noise and they keep sit still, they standing up.
Yeah, did you learn anything else today?
Yeah, what?
Okay, can you show me anything else?
We can't remember.
Can't remember. Did you have fun today?
Mm.
Are you excited to go back next week? Are you excited to get your shoes and your dress? You going to tell the camera? Yeah, are you really excited?
Yeah.
She's been doing weekly lessons ever since. She really loves it. She's even done week-long summer schools and she's done day camps. She's done shows and performances and she really loves it, and it's a huge passion of hers. She is definitely a little dancer. It's something that she really enjoys and she works really hard towards. She is currently partaking in ballet tap and modern lessons. She only started the modern last year, but she's doing really great with it all, and she's actually preparing for her first show with that school. So I'm really excited for her. It's going to be a big theatre show and a really big step for her, and at the moment she's been doing rehearsals twice a week, and she's just rocking it. She's amazing, and I'm so proud of her. You can keep up to date by watching our weekly vlogs. So if you subscribe and hit the bell, every Monday we put out a weekly vlog, and you'll be able to see her progress with the dancing. And after the show, there's going to be a video especially about her journey to the stage. So yeah, if you want to see that sort of stuff, make sure that you do subscribe and hit the bell so you can see it in the future. She did used to do Spanish lessons, and obviously this doesn't affect her health whatsoever other than actually getting to the lesson and things. She really did enjoy it, and this is one thing that I find amazing. It's even though she's considered only working towards average in school, she's still quite a smart girl and she picks things up really quickly. So for her, she's actually doing amazing. Unfortunately, the Spanish lessons did get shut down, so she uses the Duolingo app and she's practicing Spanish, French, Italian and Spanish at the moment, and she's really absorbing quite a lot of it, and I'm really proud of her. And we were actually on the bus the other day and there were some Spanish people on there and they were speaking in Spanish, and she was like, "Mum, they're speaking Spanish and I understand some of it." And I was like, "That's so cool, but let's not eavesdrop." But I was so proud of her because it shows that she really was paying attention to what she's learning. Now, even though this doesn't affect her health, it is something that I'm really proud of, because there are a lot of things that she's been put through early in life to survive that could have affected her mental development. So the fact that she is still quite switched on and quite eager to learn is really incredible, because they did say that she might have problems learning, and I'm so glad that even though she is a little bit behind in school, she's still doing really well and she isn't years behind where she should be. Now thankfully, because they had foam balls, Dawn-louise was able to take part in tennis lessons. Unfortunately, she can't continue to do them because it is a contact sport. She isn't allowed to do tennis when they use the normal tennis balls, but with a foam ball she's allowed to, because foam isn't going to hurt her, thankfully. So unfortunately she did have to stop going to the lessons because it got too cold, and we kind of kept missing the sign up because you had to sign up every 6 weeks. So we kind of kept missing it, unfortunately. But she really enjoyed it for the time that she did do it. She was doing really well, her coordination was getting better, and it's definitely something that we're going to do in the summer together, just between us as a bit of fun, because obviously we can carry on using the foam ball, whereas obviously if she's doing it with other children, they need to learn how to do it with a proper tennis ball, and it kind of leaves her in a bit of a hard spot there. So we are not doing tennis lessons anymore, but it is still something we can do between us just for fun. Another thing that she did was singing, and you might not think that this would affect somebody with a heart condition, but actually it does, because it's very important that they learn how to breathe correctly, as heart warriors can get out of breath really easily because they do have lower oxygen in their blood. So it is important that when she's singing, she doesn't try to hold her breath. Unfortunately, she did used to do that, and she actually used to go blue as she was singing. Now personally, I like rap music, so if I could find any fast, clean songs, I would have them playing in the background when we were doing things at home, like arts and crafts or something. And I realised that she was trying to sing along with it, and she was actually getting really out of breath trying, and you wouldn't think that would be an issue, but somehow it is. I think that she tried. Unfortunately the class got shut down again because she started when it was new and there wasn't enough people signed up, but she did try cheerleading. Now if you're American, this is not the kind of cheerleading you're thinking of. It was nowhere near that energetic. I don't know how they do it in America, but in England it's still kind of a new thing. So she did very basic cheerleading, which was more just sort of dancing with pom-poms. But she really loved the lesson and it was a lot of fun. The thing that she did was limbering. Now this is just sort of stretching and cartwheels and things like that, and for the most part she could take part in everything. The only problem was when she was doing splits, she was bruising her legs a lot where she was applying pressure to the floor so much, and also she mustn't go upside down for too long, so she couldn't actually learn how to do a handstand correctly. She did kind of almost learn how to do one, but where she can't balance herself against the wall like you would normally do when you're practicing strength for handstands, it meant that she can't actually do it. She does still try, and she's very close to getting it, but where she can't hold it, it makes it really hard for her to actually learn how to do it. And the reason is the blood flow that she has in her fontaine circulation works partly by gravity. So if she's upside down too long, all the blood starts rushing to her head and her lungs. And that is not where we want the blood to be. We want the blood to stay in a good circuit. She already really struggles with getting blood to her lower legs. Sometimes this can actually cause leg cramps where the circulation isn't getting there quite enough. It's really important that when she does handstands, she does it for no longer than a minute. After that, you can really see the damage it's doing to her because her face will start to go blue. her hands will start to go blue and her feet will go really, really pale, and it's actually quite scary to watch. The first time that we did a handstand against the wall, she went blue almost immediately, so I'll insert a photo so you can actually see. One thing that I'm really thankful we found was girl guiding. Now personally, I never did this as a child, so I didn't actually know it was a thing. Now, over the world, they're all called different things, but in England, you've got the rainbows, the brownies, and the guides. Dawn-louise is currently a brownie. She moved up to brownies when she was 7, but she started in the rainbows section when she was 6.5 years old. So she's been doing it a little while now, and next March, she'll move up into guides. Now, I really love this because for an hour and a half, she gets to have indoor fun, she gets to learn, she gets to play games, she gets to make friends. It is so much fun for her, and it's completely safer to do so. It's all inside, so we don't have to worry about the weather. The only worry is when the kids have their nails sprays because it's quite a large group, but other than that, she does absolutely amazing there. And the best part for me is that it's only £1 a week, because having a child with such a serious illness, I do end up paying a lot of money for things like gas, thermal clothing, transport, things for her wheelchair, and just all these random things that you just wouldn't think about until you actually need them. And it's really helpful to find things that she can do for fun that are a little bit cheaper, because we do have to worry about money because I am only her full-time carer. I don't have like a really good well-paid job where I can just let her do anything she likes, even though I so wish I could. Thankfully, I do manage to sign her up to quite a few things, but it isn't without sacrifice, unfortunately. Another thing that I found hilarious was that we found a circus skills class, and she actually got to do tightrope walking and like juggling and things like that, and it was amazing, and she was having so much fun. Until they did a whole day of hula hooping and it really put her off, and she didn't want to go back after that. Yeah, she really didn't want to go back after that. She just got so bored because the lesson was 2 hours long, and for 2 hours they had them learning the hula hoop, and she just did not want to go back after that. It bored her silly, and I don't blame her, because wiggling your hips for 2 hours is that's just not fun. Even with having half a heart, she was still able to do tightrope walking, which is insane. Obviously, they had to have someone either side of her to make sure that if she fell, that she was caught and didn't hit the floor or the mat too hard. But it was really fun for her to get to experience that at least, and she loved the experience even though she didn't want to go back. Another thing that we did together recently was Latin and ballroom. Now, we don't go very regularly purely because they were private lessons and quite expensive, but after her wish trip, it's something that I'd like to do with her at least every month, if not every week to 2 weeks, as it was a really nice way for us to bond. And even though the dancing can be a little bit fast, it isn't too much for her. So I'm really excited to try and do that with her again in the future. She also managed to do straight dance. Now, when I signed her up to this, I was a little bit concerned, but there were other children with like conditions like Down syndrome and other illnesses, so I knew that she was going to be in a really accepting place. Unfortunately, her class did get shut down and she had to stop going, but during the time that she was doing it, she did live performances, she did a stage show, and she really, really loved learning it. And I think that if we can find a class for her in the future, she would definitely go back and do that again. And with her heart, she seemed to do it fine, as long as she's given plenty of time to sit down and have a glass of water when she starts to get out of breath, or when she starts to get too hot, she can manage it quite well. One of the most important things to remember when children with half a heart are doing activities like this, especially ones that are quite high energy, is to 1, check with the doctor first, make sure that everything is okay. 2, make sure they always have water, because they can easily become dehydrated. It's really important that they don't. Another thing is just to make sure that the teachers are fully aware of what's going on and what their needs are, and then try and teach your child to become a self-aware advocate for themselves. Dawn-louise is very good at knowing when she needs to break. If she wasn't, I probably would not have let her do the street dancing, just because she would have kept going for the whole hour and she would have got really worn out, and it could have put her life at risk if she overdid it too much, because the heart is a muscle. It does need slow exercise. You don't want to overdo it. So it's very important that they know that when they start to feel tired, they can sit down for 5 minutes, carry on watching the lessons, so they're not really missing out because they know what they're going to do after that. Just sit down, have a drink, get your breathing back in order, and then when you feel up to it, get back up and give it a go again. And thankfully, she's really good at doing that, and that's why I am so happy to sign her up to all these things, is I know that she's going to take care of herself just as much as the teacher is. And the last thing that she does is drama. One of the only problems with her doing drama that I have is the rehearsals. Sometimes they can be a little bit tiring, because where it's a speaking role, you can't really sit down and watch it. You have to actually be up speaking about it. But as long as I make sure that she gets enough rest around the days that she does drama, and thankfully she does the lesson on a Monday, so it means that on the Sunday she stays home, she has the whole day to rest. Now, depending on how the weather is, Dawn-louise becomes more tired, so sometimes we utilise her wheelchair to save her energy, so she's got it for these lessons, because at the moment she does drama, ballet, tap, modern, brownies and swimming. So she does do a lot throughout the week, but on the Wednesday she rests, on the Friday she rests, and on the Sunday she rests. And I make sure on the Sunday that unless it's like her birthday or something, we stay home the whole day. She can just focus on doing her homework and staying at home and resting, and it really has helped. So one of the things that I find really important when your child is starting to experience activities is to take your time, find the right place for them, make sure that the teachers really understand what's going on, and to make sure that the child understands how to look after themselves. I'm really excited to see Dawn-louise's dance show, and I hope that you'll stick around to see her journey with it too.
So somehow I forgot to mention that she also did gymnastics. She only did it for 6 months after starting at the age of 7, because once the winter came around and her body got more tired due to the cold weather and the illnesses that go along with it, she just did not have the energy to do the weekly lessons. So now she takes part in day camps during the half term and summer holidays from 9 till 4 p.m, which is a really long day. And so far she's coping really, really well with doing those. So this way she still gets to experience gymnastics and her love for it. But it isn't too full on and she isn't committed to it. She can just go when she's in good health and when she feels up to it and has the energy. And I'm really proud of her, because even though she only did weekly gymnastic lessons for 6 months, during that time she did her first competition, which you are watching currently, and she also got her first badge. So I'm really, really proud of her. And even though it is sad that she can't go every week, she still really loves the half-term classes, and she still practices a lot of floor gymnastics at home as well. There is always a balance with living with Hlhs, so I'm so glad that we found a way for her to enjoy things that she is passionate about, things that make her happy, without having it be too much for her body or making her ill in the process. Even though she has half a heart, she is definitely not letting it stop her from enjoying life. She has tried so many things, and yes, some of them we've had to walk away from because they didn't work out for her and her heart, but I do feel like her heart is a driving force behind her confidence to try new things. She is so willing to go into a brand new situation and try a brand new activity, and she always comes out smiling. Even if she has to say, I don't think I can do this again, at least she gave it a go. And I think that life is full of experiences, and she is definitely living her life to the fullest.
But that's going to be all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and hit the bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Everybody gives you advice, yeah, on how to live your life, how to live your life. Don't you know that life is full of surprises? You better realize,